Hey y'all, it's Stu Monroe from Horror DNA TV here again at the grand opening of Frightmare Collectibles, which is a big enough deal to bring out the Queen of the Demons herself, Miss Amelia Kinkade. Amelia,
Wow.
thank you for
Hi.
sitting down with us.
The Queen of the
Queen of
Demons.
the
I love
Demons.
it.
I don't think anybody sits on that throne ahead of you, ma'am.
Ah, thank you. The Queen of Terror.
I like it.
That's what's in the inside of Demons 2. That's what's in the inside of the VHS. The Queen of Terror in my snake makeup.
Oh, God, I love that makeup.
In 27 and a half hours of that makeup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely one of the more intense makeup jobs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it worth every penny of it. You're immortalized.
I'm so glad. I was strapped in a trench, glued to a teeter-totter, 2 contacts in each eye.
Yeah.
And I look like Kermit the Frog. And then by the time I'd been in that makeup for maybe 24 hours and had Steve Johnson, my special effects genius, whipping my tail around with a piece of dental floss. This is how there was something
That was the only
before
thing
CGI.
Wow.
It was called movie making.
Yeah.
It was a different kind of movie making back when everything was practical effects. I'd have him off camera smoking cigarettes, blowing smoke through tubes so that smoke would come out of my wrists, so it looked like I was still smoking when half my body got burnt off. And it was a different world. And so what's so flattering to me is that it's still recognized 25 years later.
To say the very least, yeah.
And that everybody still loves it. I mean, now it's not even the fans that come to see me, it's the kids of the fans. And the kids of the fans have tattoos of me on their body.
Yeah. I've seen, I saw some of the tattoo stuff on the website with some of the tattoos that people have, and it's pretty good work.
It's amazing. There's so many amazing artists out now.
Yeah.
And maybe that if there were back then and we didn't have any way of finding each other or we didn't know about it, you had no awareness of it. It's like it didn't exist. And now so many of my fans are artists. So people are posting original artwork, new t-shirts out there. I've got
I like
knives. This is new. But a lot of them are either hand painted, hand sculpted, and for some reason it's the demon makeup that sparks people's imagination.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the cover of that box alone for that 80s video store generation like me, it's just that it's burned into your brain. And I mean, were you cognizant of the time of really being there were no female monsters before that role? I mean, yeah, the Bride of Frankenstein, and I'm not trying to take away from the Bride of Frankenstein, it's a great role, but if you go back and watch, it's a bit part. I mean, you've got 3 movies to own being the preeminent female monster. You're on every cover, you're the feature of the movie. And in the 80s, women didn't have voices like that, really. You were either running away or, getting screwed or getting stabbed most of the time.
Well, how I was rewarded for it was that I couldn't get a job.
No.
Nobody would hire me after I made this.
Because it was horror?
Because it was horror.
Yeah.
Because that's what I had done. I had blacklisted myself. It was a stigma. And that's what I had on my video reel. And no one would hire me. I got onto The Young and the Restless playing a villainess and was a lead on The Young and the Restless until they electrocuted me in the tub.
That's a nice end, anyway.
But I didn't get to do it. I mean, I didn't. They didn't even show it. I got my script one morning and it says I'd been electrocuted in the tub.
Oh,
cop out.
Yeah, you'd hope for at least a good death scene where you get to flop around in the tub for a little bit or something.
Of course. The boss's daughter got my storyline very conveniently for her.
Oh no!
And she got to be evil and solve the murder. But the ironic thing is now, it's 90% of what's on streaming.
Yeah.
Now it's zombies, vampires, witches, Dawn of the Dead, everything is supernatural oriented.
Yep.
Even a lot of the mainstream movies in the 80s, that would have been considered horror.
Hmm.
Even shows like Gotham. Gotham is so gruesome, I
Yeah, it's
can't
got a lot
watch
of
it.
genre elements to it for
It's
sure.
gruesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of even the Marvel comics, everybody's got superhero powers.
Yeah.
So now it's become really mainstream.
Like, I honestly don't know if horror has ever been hotter than it is right now. Just like you said, in terms of mainstream popularity, everybody wants to do horror. I'd figure by now, I mean, do you have people kicking in your door trying to get you to do more work now?
Well, yeah, I actually do. And if it weren't for COVID, I might have a project in process right now.
Okay.
So when we get through this, it's possible that I'm going to have a project.
Nice.
And it's something that I'm creating. I'm not at liberty to talk about it, but I've written 6 books.
Yeah.
The first of which is in about 37 countries. So it's a bestseller in quite a number of obscure countries
Oh, okay.
and some big countries like South Korea and Germany. And the books have made their way around the world. I've been spending all these years writing,
Hmm.
and I've written a project. But at the moment, COVID has shut down the film industry.
Yeah, unfortunately. For most everything anyways. Was that the TV one you were mentioning a while back working
Yeah,
on?
it can't go on forever because everyone needs content.
Yep.
All these streaming platforms need content. So somebody's going to have to start filming eventually.
Yeah. And the ones getting made right now are seem to be, I don't want to use the word niche exactly, but I can't come up with a better one. Movies like Host and stuff like that that have become popular on Shudder because they're filmed, like a Zoom call type horror movie and everything. So I think it's a little easier to film that and get away with it right now. But hopefully it's not too much longer before you can film. I'd love to see that.
I would too.
Definitely. So
He's going back to his questions
yeah,
and he's shaking, just so y'all know
just a
that
little
I
bit.
scare you that much. I don't even look like this right now and I still scare you.
I'm trying not to
What
have
a
too many
claim to
nerves.
fame! Blush. Look at me,
Yeah,
see, I'm
see,
blushing.
I blush. I do. Well, you were speaking about endangered species. There was a quote I'd read recently. It said we needed to get our Angela on and decide that our lives make a difference. I was just curious exactly how you get your Angela on because I need to
I don't
figure
even
that out.
know where did that go? Did I say that?
I think it was with crypticrock.com, if I'm not mistaken. It was an interview. You're talking
Oh,
about working with endangered species, and you said get your Angela
get
on
your inner Angela on.
and and decide that your lives will make a difference.
Well, this pandemic, fortunately, will have some positive changes
I would say, yeah.
seen, in the world. And whether you believe this virus is man made or you believe this virus came from the exotic animals that were getting eaten in Hong Kong,
Hmm.
in the wet markets, 3 years exactly before COVID hit. Now, my charity, I go into schools in Africa. So I go into rural communities. I lead safaris in Zambia.
Hmm.
And that's where the elephants will be waiting. I mean, this year is the first year in 19 years I'm not in Africa right now. The elephants will be waiting around my tent before my plane lands,
Yeah.
before I know what tent they're going to put me in.
Dang.
A family of 5 elephants, and I'm in the third generation of these elephants. This is the granddaughter of
Hmm.
the grandma who met me. It's her family. They know where I'm going to be before I know where I'm going to be. And I go into the schools and we dance as elephants and we draw elephants. We make up plays about poaching and protecting the animals.
Hmm.
Try to get the kids to understand their long-term financial security is going to be on a safari park, protecting the animals, not caving into the poachers. Well, $500,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been to Rwanda twice for the gorilla. I go gorilla trekking and then I work with the kids in the churches and the schools.
Hmm.
And it's gorilla conservation. That's a lowland gorilla that come down from the volcanoes. They come down from the Congo.
Very cool.
They're very cool.
Yeah.
They're very cool. They're everything that people think they aren't. They are
Really?
not violent.
Hmm.
The best analogy I've ever heard about gorilla trekking. So when you find them in the jungle, it's like interrupting a family picnic. They're sitting there, dozens and dozens, babies playing above you, mommies bringing me their infants in their arms, showing me their babies.
Oh my
Teenage boy gorilla fell asleep on my feet.
god.
You have exactly 1 hour, and then the silverback walks up and he sits between you and his group, crosses his arms, and goes, "That's it." And he takes him off to go.
That's badass.
It's badass.
Well, you can't misinterpret the message in any case. I mean,
No, and they don't have to come visit people if they don't want to.
yeah.
And then I did a Cecil campaign for poaching lions. And unfortunately, I am a Texan, and a lot of it is Texans that go down there. If you're going to spend $500,000 to chop the head off a lion and fly it home and hang it over your pool table.
As a concept I've never even remotely understood.
No, I mean, the other quote I love is, "Let's keep the horror on the screen. Let's not make a horror
Yeah.
movie for these animals to have to live in."
Absolutely.
So nobody delivered that to me on a silver platter. Nobody came along and said, "You're going to go to Africa and you're going to start your own charity and you're going to go in the schools and you're going to work with the sharks and the penguins and the lions and the cobra." And I decided that. I didn't have the money to do it. And every single person I know who ever started some massive charity, who ever got something huge done, in the beginning they said, "I don't have the money to do this. But if I could do anything with my life, this is what I care about." I don't like the fact that they've almost killed every tiger off the planet,
Yeah.
that they are going to be endangered. There won't be any tigers in the wild. Now, this also, unfortunately, and I've got a lot of Chinese students and Chinese friends, but it is China that is, they are the problem with poaching pangolin, tigers,
Yeah.
a lot of rhino horn. We've, got the problem with ivory. So it's really, it's not even that you think you can make that much of a difference.
Mhm.
It's that you want to try. And you know that at the end of the day, if you did some small thing, in Africa, you give somebody $5, they're going to cry in your arms. You're sending that man's kid to school. You're buying the uniform for his children.
Yeah.
I mean, little things make a huge, huge difference. And the cop out, it's easy to throw up your hands and say, "Oh, it's all so terrible. There's so much. There's this, there's factory farming, there's laboratory. I can't. Oh, the oceans, this." And see, that's where people cop out.
Yeah, like they get bogged down with it almost. Like it's too much.
And you can't, if everybody did one thing, just one small thing, we could completely turn the planet around. And that the inner Angela is to say, "I'm not going to get punked out. I'm not going to get psyched out. I'm not going to listen to anybody who tells me I can't do it. You're going to have to kill me if you think you're going to stop me from flying to Thailand to defend those tigers. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to stop me." And that's what credit cards are for. And when I start on one of these campaigns, what's amazing is that everybody wants to help. And I don't think we have these problems because nobody cares. We have these problems because nobody knows what to do. And you can give your money
Fair
to
point.
World
Definitely.
Wildlife Fund and not know where it's going.
Mhm.
Or you can try to do something that's more grassroots and give your money to something small and you know exactly where your money's going. So the inner Angela is what is it that I can do? And let's say every single person Somebody's a graphic designer. They're going to be great with helping a charity with their website and their promotion.
Mm.
Somebody else is a, an he does electric, or he does roofing, and he can help build homeless shelters, or
Yeah, yeah,
orphanages. I
yeah.
mean, there's something
There's some way you can
that we
pitch
can
in no
put
matter
our
what you're.
talent to use
Yeah.
in a constructive way that helps other people and helps animals and helps the planet. That's the inner Angela.
Nice. I like that. The little stuff, not the big stuff.
The little stuff adds up to the big stuff. Mother Teresa said, I do no great things. You can do no great things. You do small things with great love. But she did it every day, and that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look back on 30 years of doing some small thing every day, it's not small anymore. You built
True.
that
Very
school,
true. Yeah.
that hospital. You built that orphanage. You saved those tigers. Laws are getting changed now because we're adhering to things.
Well, you see it even here. It's just like when they, I'm not thinking of the name, Barnum and Bailey with the circus, closing that whole thing down.
It took a long time.
It was a big deal. And I mean, I went to Barnum and Bailey when I was a kid. I think most Americans did. And then I went to it again as an adult, taking my daughter when she was, I don't know, 3. And it was just a completely different vibe. I mean, you looked at it a different way, like, this is kind of screwed up. Like I get you're doing it for our entertainment, but you're not really doing right by the animals.
We have better ways to entertain.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We have Cirque du Soleil now.
I didn't mourn the loss.
We don't need circuses like that.
Yeah.
Tortured tigers, tortured monkeys, tortured elephants. It's disgusting. But things are changing, and because of COVID, actually, Vietnam was the first one to shut down their wet markets, and then China. So
okay.
Something good has come out of that.
Yeah.
It's working. Those animals were illegally trafficked on the black market. They were poached and smuggled out of Africa so that they could sit in a cage and get tortured until somebody bought them and skinned them alive. That's what was happening.
Yeah, that's more of a horror show than anything you're gonna see in a Night of the Demons movie, for sure.
For sure. But somebody's got to step out there and stop it. And I can't do everything. There's, some people who are working on the dog meat trade. There's some people working on the wild mustangs. I mean, it's just a matter of picking what you care about and what you love and trying to help.
Yeah. Well said. You do a lot of amazing work. Admittedly, being kind of just an extreme horror nut, I didn't know a lot of it until I started doing the research for the interview, and then I probably spent, I don't know, a couple hours just going through everything on your website. It's impressive. It's
thank you.
Amazing work.
Thank you.
That definitely has the that Angela sort of spirit of the underdog too. I like it. Don't lay down and take it,
Thank you, and very well said. It's always that. Everything I do is the underdog. And a lot of these underdogs are enormous misunderstood predators like great white sharks, or tigers, or elephants, gorilla, lions. People don't understand them. Show horses. Horses are wild animals.
Like I know they train a lot of the show horses for what's it called, medieval times out here.
Oh.
And a fellow I used to work with, his property butts up against the farm where they train these horses for medieval times. And I don't know in the way they train those horses if that's, mistreating them or anything, but I sat out there at his place one day and watched for a couple hours, and they really put them through some paces to train those horses. Like, the horse training was really intense because the way they have those horses trained at medieval times, they do some crazy tricks. And I mean, they are spot on, but they are out there just training the hell out of these horses. It seems like constantly. So
I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to speak out of turn.
I don't know how they treat them, if it's good or bad or not. I just was impressed, I guess, by the strictness, if you will, of the intensity of the training. I was like, wow, they're really putting those horses through the paces. And he's like, yeah, they sit out here all day long with these beautiful white show horses that they use at medieval
So they
times
use
and
them as honors.
teach them to do all their little tricks and everything that they
It
do during the
depends
show.
on if the horses want to do it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked with the Queen's horses in Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, wow, that's
And the Olympics. I work with Olympic show horses. And with
man.
the top, we won the gold in the Longines Global Championship in Vienna and Rome. And I don't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
The horses don't do anything they don't want to do. And therefore, when they do want to do something, they do it better than any horse in the world. But
Makes
if
sense.
they are having a bad day and they don't want to do it, and somebody set up power tools next to them and grooms are blowing cigarette smoke in their face, I mean, that what goes on in the Olympics is phenomenal. I'll defend the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Say, let her sit out of the show. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it. I'm not going to name names on this one. But the one we won one, and the next one, this horse had enough. And she was under too much stress, and they're trying to work her into the ground. And then she goes out in the show and just kicks down the jumps and kicks down the jumps and kicks down the jumps. And the writer said to me, well, why didn't we win? And I said, because we won yesterday. And the horse
Nice. Yeah.
believes that it's somebody else's turn to win. And I'll tell you who won that show. Bruce Springsteen's daughter won that show because he had flown in that day, and it was the only day he was going to be there.
Yeah.
And the horses wanted to make sure his daughter won in front of her father. Now, we don't think that they can do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll throw the show. They'll throw the race. And I'll have people say, well, why didn't he win? Why didn't he win? Because a little filly came in and they all said, oh gosh, she's scared. She's never done one of these. Let's let her win.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's really cool.
And I'll say to the horse, you know you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get punished when you go home. The horse will say, I don't care. It's worth it. They care about each other.
Yeah.
This was my point with the gorillas. They care about each other. They're peaceful. They're happy. They're living in harmony with nature. They're everything that humans aren't.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense from that perspective. In the meantime, I can't even get my dog to not bark her head off when he comes in the house.
She's supposed to do that. It's also knowing who is this wild animal. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What is correct for that species, that breed? And for her to say, hello, hello, you're here. Oh my gosh, you're here. He's here. I'm so excited. She's supposed to do that.
Maybe it's the dingo in her. I thought she was all German Shepherd, and then I found out she had dingo in her, and she's got
a little
different personality.
Well, Daddy's a talker. He talks for a living. It's okay if she talks.
Talkative she is.
When she has something to say, she has a right to tell you.
I got to start looking at it differently. I think I'll pick up that book before you go.
I think you should. I think you should. Sometimes they can save your life. And if you were so busy saying, shut up, and she's saying, intruder outside has a gun, it smells like alcohol, was moving southwest at 2:30, and every dog in the neighborhood will tell the next house of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it roll through. I'm in a house full of dogs right now in Dallas. They do an evening news broadcast. Now they had this in 101 Dalmatians, where one dog is going 5:00 and all's well, 5:00 and all's well, 5:00 and it rolls through, right?
Yeah.
Each dog is reporting to the other. It's like police.
Yeah.
They're police. Yours in particular.
Yeah.
Is a police dog. She's policing your home, keeping you safe. If you listened instead of trying to hush her, then you would know exactly what it is. Now, when he's at the door, the bark doesn't sound the same as if there's a raccoon at the door.
Yeah.
If there's a cat outside, that's not the same bark. The bark for the mailman is not the same. And if there were a dangerous intruder, you'd have an entirely different bark come out of her. And that's just when you're listening to the voice.
Yeah.
I listen to the thoughts and the feelings. But you can learn to do that.
That would definitely make life easier with this one. She's certainly been a challenge to train. Not with the basic stuff, like sit and whatnot, but the more don't go crazy when people come in the house, or going outside and going nuts at the fence every time the kids in the neighboring yard are out there playing. Can't get her to stop that one at all. But she just goes crazy every time the kids are out there. But I'm just not speaking the right language.
Get my first book. The first one's called Straight from the Horse's Mouth, How to Talk to Animals and Get Answers. Read it. And see
Definitely.
what you glean of why is she doing it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to make animals stop doing what they're doing. I'm going to come in and ask, why are you doing it? What are you feeling when you do that? What are you hoping to get when you do that? If it's loneliness and excitement, that's different from, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
She's probably bored out of her mind. That would be my first guess.
It's probably not entirely inaccurate.
Dogs are pack animals. They're better in parties of two. And I know the last thing on earth you would ever want is another one. Do you just have her?
No, we have a small one. She's part Cocker Spaniel, part Maltese.
But
she's
you don't
older
have
and
a
she's
big
the
boy.
boss. No, not another big boy. A little one and then a big one. She was a fear conquering for me because I was bitten by a German Shepherd when I was a kid and I was terrified of them.
I
got a Shepherd for that reason.
I love shepherds.
I love her now. She's amazing. I'm over the fear now.
Well, you're gonna hate my advice because families grow wherever I go. My advice would be to get a big, chill boy dog.
Okay.
Like a sheep dog, a big, chilled out boy.
All right.
Maybe a bulldog. Then she and he will take turns. So they'll be in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
She can relax from her hysterical patrolling and let him do it while she takes a nap. And then she needs to leave him in charge so it'll calm her down.
Hey.
Because the little tiny bossy broad, that's not going to calm her down.
Yeah, and they're all girls. All the animals in the house are girls too.
Well, you're there. You need a dog like you.
Fair. I am literally the only male in the entire house. Between wife, daughter, dogs, and elderly mom. Yeah, I'm the only male in the entire house. So I try to take care of who I can.
You need a chill, fantastic boy.
I love that you said bulldog and it's on camera because I've wanted a bulldog for so long.
I picked that up.
It's one of those. My wife is like, I don't know, and I don't know why she's not keen on bulldogs. She's just not.
I love bulldogs. I love big bulldogs.
You hear a lot about health, like how they have, chronic health problems when they get older, but it seems like pretty much every animal's got something.
Yeah, for sure.
That affects them.
For sure. I mean, you also could have like a beautiful boy golden retriever. Somebody to just play off your noisy female. But I love bulldogs. Have we strayed as far off topic as humanly possible? I think so.
Hey, man, I'm digging it.
They're not learning what they thought they were gonna.
No.
This is probably a lot more beneficial than just talking about horror movies. This is what I really do.
Yeah.
I solve problems with people and their animals. And the problem is never the animal. Never.
Yeah, that makes sense. People suck, generally speaking.
It's something that you're doing. And you're forcing her to live in a household with a bossy little tiny female. And she doesn't have a boyfriend. She's not allowed to have a husband. You're allowed to be married and she's not. So that already is giving me some it gives me some indication of what kind of psychology is going on in the family.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you have this fantastic, big, chill male dog?
It's a pretty good idea. I think Cindy's going to love that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry. I'm sorry, Cindy. She's going to hate me. Your wife is already hating me.
Actually, I'm the one that's been trying to be halfway logical and be like, you really don't need another dog right now.
That's not how dogs operate. Dogs live in hierarchies. And the way to get one calmed down is to bring in an alpha. And then the female can relax. She doesn't have to do everything all the time. She doesn't have to feel like she's never heard. So she has to bark at the top of her lungs all the time.
Oh, so Jim is basically doing what my wife's doing. It's like, I have to do all the work. Come on.
Oh, okay. He said it. He said it. I didn't say it.
I mean, I work, but no. She wears the pants. I don't make the decision.
Oh, see,
so,
there you go. And
yeah.
you have a dog like her.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you don't have a dog like you. And you need a dog like you.
I'm definitely going to work on that. That's going to be one weird freaking dog.
Oh, no, he'll be fabulous. He'll be great. So where is this going to air? Because I'm going to plug a couple of things in Texas. Is this going to go out right away?
I mean, a little bit of editing time and such, but it'll be up on YouTube pretty shortly. A week or so, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, our editor usually turns video around pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, December 5th, I'm going to be in Bastrop, Texas at the gas station. Okay. So that's going to be the next appearance in Texas. Then December the 12th, I'm going to be in Vegas, and that's for Nightmare Collectibles.
Oh, cool.
They've got a very cool store there.
Okay.
Not to downplay the grand opening here, because this has been awesome, but Vegas show is established. It's big, and that's going to be fantastic, that appearance. And then there's a pop-up in Houston. So okay. Tony Rodriguez does the Houston Horror Con. That keeps getting pushed back. We were going to do it this last year. At this point, I'm booked there in June, and I'm going to do the pop-up. I think it's the weekend of the 14th, 15th. Mm-hmm. I may have those numbers wrong, but it's about the 14th, 15th of January. And now Lloyd, who does Texas Frightmare, is putting me on April 30th, May 1st. So we've got some more Texas appearances. Y'all come out and see me. I'm selling all the books with the animals so that you can learn some of these tips at home. And come support the horror community, because this is all we can do to try to keep our chins up. Just to have these small events where you know that everybody's safe, fans are in masks, I'm not touching people, I'm sanitized, I've got masks, and you're completely safe. We're distanced. There are not very many people here at once. But if you don't come out and raise your spirits, you're going to lose your mind. I mean, that's
you really will. Yeah.
I mean, if we get locked down again, I'm going to turn into this.
I think we're also like saturated with being stuck inside for so long. You forget what it's like to do stuff like this and have anything actually cool happen, because we just get to live indoors now and go to work and come home and rinse and repeat. So stuff like this is really important.
Yeah,
definitely. And you gotta support the horror community.
And I'm in Texas for a while now, so come make it worth my while. I mean, the more I get bribed to stay, the longer I'll stay.
See, we can't let the Queen of the Demons go. So we got to keep her here.
Okay,
Amelia, thank you.
You're welcome
so much. Appreciate your time.
Bye for now, everybody. Keep your chin up. Get your Angela on.